everyone, welcome back. Clusterbmilkshake. I am your host, along with support puppet, Mr. Chicken. Say howdy. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about the dark triad with some added tetrad all up in here. I got some notes from Dr. Grande. I also did some clinical research shit on Machiavellianism and read some really good articles on it. My friend did want me to do just Maca, and I'm just like, let's just do all three, alright? Because having all of these things together really paint a more broad picture than just the one. So, the dark triad is referred to the dark traits of the personality. This is subclinical, okay? This shit isn't in the DSM, nor is it labeled a personality disorder. These are just traits, okay? The traits are of narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and then for the tetrad, they sprinkle a little bit of sadism in there. But sadism isn't usually a part of this dark triad, but this is something that you could either see in yourself or in other people, okay? So some shared features of all three. Low agreeableness. This is mean they fucking disagree or challenge you on everything. No trust, uncooperative, competitive, callous or unemotional, lack of empathy, manipulative, grandiose, lack of honesty, and humility. All right? So, one thing that I do not do, I do not fake humble. I don't. Fuck you. Fuck your feelings. I don't care. I'm not going to make myself look weak so you feel better. Oh, I'm sorry. Shut up. All right. So for psychopathy, pathological lying. Now, one thing that I'm struggling with is, I read in my chat groups and stuff, why do people pathologically lie all the motherfucking time? And a lot of them say that they can't fucking help it. Some of them are like completely so boring that they have to create this fantasy world for everybody else to believe in. Another thing is narcissists, they don't have a sense of self. They have to fake a false reality since they were little. Sam Vaknin says that our whole life is a lie. So we are actually gaslighting ourselves and believing in this shit too. Okay? This is why when I had this really cool guy, he was young. He was like 18. And he was a total pathological liar, but I just loved listening to his stories. So I just fucking, I wasn't going to call him out on anything. I was just like, yeah, keep going, brother. All right. Sensation seeking, poor behavior control. So this is the impulsivity and aggression. We're going to get into, what aggressive, from these traits mean in a moment. Now, narcissism needs admiration, entitlement, envies others. Yeah. Fantasy, thinking of power, and arrogant. Yes. Machiavellianism, cynical. Yes. What is this? What did I fucking write? I'm sorry. Manipulative, careful and calculating. This, maybe it was strategic in manipulation. So, this would be like me planning an elaborate Hoover. Okay. And then good impulse control, delayed gratification. Yes. So I didn't need to get you back in my life right away. I can plan out this big, fucking thing to get you to return. Just micro doses to get you to return. I didn't need you to show up right away, and it would make me very excited planning this shit out. Not attention seeking. Now, this depends on the environment. Like, because I have social anxiety, going out into the environment, sometimes, I just want to just blend in. I don't want to, but if somebody comes up and talks to me, then I have to put on the show, right? So like when I would go to a party or something, I make my big elaborate announcement that I'm there, and then I just like to sneak off into the corner. It's exhausting, man. Okay, where are we? Delayed, yeah, okay. In terms of personality for Machiavellianism, low extroversion, so introverted, yes. Low openness to experience. It is very hard for me to try new things if this is what he fucking meant. And all in all, the ends justify the means. So yes, we can justify in anything, that we do. This is the way our brains work. And if you have, a set goal on something, or even being impulsive, we think, it's deserved. You can justify fucking anything, man. And for Machiavellianism, I read an article on romantic studies on this trait, and they found partners need an equal. They need an equal. And I'm just like, oh fuck, thank God that I finally found, something justifying why I want an equal as a partner. No one below me, and I want to put them on a pedestal because you are at my level. I already pedestal myself. So I want not only for you to, in your mind, put me up there, but we're both putting each other on our own pedestals for each other. And I was just like, this is why I get pissed off when I'm like, I don't want no fucking empath. No. Some codependent, some needy little shit that just wants to do everything for me. I always think low of those types of people. Those ones are in the friend zone. Those ones are easily conned out of things, and I find that gross. I almost find myself gross to actually be using people like that. Yuck! So anyway, this is why I get rid of those people right away. Okay? I need somebody at my motherfucking level. So I asked Dr. Ruth, I said, do normal type narcissists, pathological narcissists, do they go after, empathic people? Was my whole fucking thinking just, skewed? And she says, everybody's different. So there is no right or wrong partner that, they will attach to, some like this, some like that, And I was just like, okay, well, this is what I like. Okay. Then we get to subclinical sadism. Okay, so this shit ain't in the DSM. And here we go. Engage in demeaning, antagonistic, and cruel behaviors with the purpose of experiencing pleasure, taking pleasure in causing or witnessing harmful acts. He goes further, breaking this down into 3 types of this trait: verbal, physical, and vicarious. That's secondhand or through imagination, movies, books, written stories, writing songs, you know. Verbal, that's embarrassing or humiliating others. I would do this consciously and unconsciously with my sister, just fucking talking shit about her appearance all the time. Sarcasm, just talking shit and shaming people. Physical harming others. This is violence, sexual abuse, and violating boundaries, or getting off on, doing things to you, even talking you into those things, or them, saying, well, I'll just get it someplace else or something, Now, it wouldn't be BDSM because that is a verbal contract. You have boundaries. Okay, we're talking about no boundaries. Somebody actually hurting you on purpose. Like I would bite my partner and he wouldn't know I'm gonna bite him. And then the vicarious is the fantasizing about violence or watching violence. Okay, remember all the time when I say, I gotta go watch somebody unalive somebody, on a movie. But I do have a lot of examples of what goes up in here for the sadism, okay? The motivation, what am I doing? Okay, for sadism, people with these traits seek out opportunities to harm. This is just an added bonus, but not typically seen in the triad, okay? The motivation for cruelty and aggression is different in all 4 of these traits. So with sadism, it's enjoyment. Psychopathy is boredom, can be instrumental in gaining something or when physically provoked, okay? That's going to be them being cruel or aggressive. So like a borderline will turn into a secondary psychopath when pushed to that limit. So a psychopath will not go to great lengths to be aggressive unless it's easy and convenient, but somebody with sadism will. Somebody with narcissism, remember this is traits, subclinical, not the fucking diagnosable shit. I don't even think why the fuck it matters, but whatever. With narcissism, they're aggressive because their false self is threatened, fragile sense of self and self-esteem. Yes, this is when I will become verbally violent. Machiavellianism, they will be aggressive, would not be aggressive unless there was a substantial benefit. Okay, so the multitude would increase if the person had a mental disorder. I mean, why would you even do this shit if you did not even fucking have some sort of disorder going on? This is confusing to me. I don't give a fuck because I already know that I got, the pathological narcissism. I do not know if I have anything else. And this research really fucked with my head and made me reach out to be on the waiting list for a psychologist who specializes in MPD. So whether or not I'm something more than just a narcissist, at least I am working on my narcissism, okay? And I don't know how to deal with the darker shit. So that's why I reached out for help, all right? So some of the things that fall under the sadism for me is when I was younger, I would pour salt on snails. I love to watch them bubble. I don't even give a shit if they have feelings or not. I did not care. I used to do other fucked up things to insects. I would swing my dog around by its tail. I did not I did not even think that there was feelings. And I just thought it was fun for me. So not that I was trying to torture the dog, but my memory is shit, so I really can't tell you if that was the goal. Maybe. I don't know. When my cats died, I gave no fuck. They got run over by a car. I thought it was cool that my dad was going to bury it in the backyard. And all I thought was, I want to dig up it later and play with its bones. I would condition small children with abuse and positive reinforcement. I know I did this shit on purpose. This is what was being done to me unconsciously by the borderline mother, and I consciously was doing this to small kids and getting off on feeling powerful and being able to control them. Now, when I tell you that, I have done this to disposable people in the past, I really did feel that I was falling in love with my long-term partners. I know it's fucking confusing. You're just like, well, you said that. I know. It's like, it's just another fucking mask. This is the fucking demon mask. So, all right. So same with my sister. I would hurt her and then give her positive reinforcement. Number one, I didn't want her to tell on me to my mother. And number two, it kept her in line. Also, she was my playmate when we were younger, so I can't have my playmate fucking just hating me, right? I wrote stories. So this is the imagination part. I would write stories about keeping my partner locked up in a cell. It was all just imagined in my mind. It was fucking dark, dirty hallways and a wooden cell with big lock and key. And he would be on a stretched out like fucking torture, wooden table. And because of my inner rage towards him making me angry, I would write stories about me whipping him and just the cutting of the flesh and the blood and the everything and the sweat and the shit and everything. And I just loved it. I loved it so much that I would imagine myself unaliving him, but he would have to come back over and over again. So there's no way that I would unalive my partner because then I wouldn't be able to torture them anymore. This is why I think that some serial killers go out and kill people that either resemble the person that they really want to unalive, because they can't unalive, the original person, except for Ed Kemper. He unalived his mama. All right. Another thing was I wrote this story about having a bar made in, a frozen a freezer. I know they have one of these things in Las Vegas. I found out later, on. Now, I hate the cold, but I wanted to still play with my dead people and would set them up and dress them up in old time, clothes like, the show Penny Dreadful, and watch their skin turn powdery blue. And I hated the cold, so I couldn't stay in there that long. And how I would voice my disappointment that rigor mortis was fucking with my happiness. It was the thief of joy. I also made a story about torturing a naked woman on a metal contraption, and there was a shower on coming down to shower on her, which was going to be an acid bath. So that was my fantasy of me pouring salt on slugs. So it was I would have balloons filled with KY jelly, and I would throw them at her, and while they would burst in the sting and she would shake. And I love that, just, and the anticipation of the pain that was going to come. And then when I clicked the button for the acid to come out and for her to sizzle, I would make the noise and just be totally fucking just calm and watching. I think a lot of these things are, projection of like unaliving my inner self, because my hate for others has to do with the inside. Especially with the story I wrote on the emotionally unstable man in therapy, where I would be outside waiting, I would always hear him during my therapy appointments wailing and crying about his pain and wanting to deaden the pain with meds and things like that. And one time I got him in the therapy room alone after hours, and I would lecture him and shame him on not being able to accept his own darkness. And then I would unalive him by rope. And of course, in my story, I would be able to do that with, my own muscles, right? All right. Anyways, I wanted to relieve his suffering. And it was annoying. So I just wanted him to, I was going to relieve his pain. And then I walk outside when I'm done, and then it starts to rain, and I said something about the angels are weeping for you. All right. And then my last story was about me dressing up as a marionette and having strings and the makeup and everything. And then my person, not my whoever, but a dude was tied up in a chair, and it was dark, and I would come out like a little girl with a tea set, and I would walk like, I was a puppet. And I wouldn't say anything, and I would just have these dead eyes, and I would always stop, and just creep the fuck out of this person as I'm, pretending that he's my little support puppet and we're having tea. So this is me having control over the environment, because the person's tied up. He can't get out. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on, and he's freaking out that I'm not speaking. So that's torture through silent treatment. So there are some other things that are like, I don't want you not to like me. It's really gross. But seeing violence on television, it does not faze me at all. Seeing other people die, because I don't see people as, people with their own feelings and everything like that, which I'm learning more through talking to others, and actually connecting with others. So that is being slowly chipped away at. But it's like after I hang up the phone with you, you're gone. So now, I go back to baseline where everybody is just, back to being cattle and ants or whatever. So, like I said, I don't know how to work through these things. And that's why I reached out to get some helpy help. And if these things are just things that I have to accept, and I can work on the things that I can. And I'm not trying to, in my relationships, harm anyone on purpose. But I was, like I said before, trying to push all of these things down and be somebody who I was not. And I do think that a lot of these, not these things, but, things that I wasn't aware of were leaking out. And I do think that my partner was seeing them, because I was seeing his shit. Whatever we are, whatever dark shit is inside of us, we're on high alert. So we're always looking for the threat. So I would see, his shady shit or things that he was doing that maybe he was aware of or not aware of, and he knew mine. The downfall was we didn't bring it to each other's attention. And if he did, I might have denied it, to where I've denied so much shit that I do that I was not consciously aware of. How do you fucking talk to somebody and say you're doing the thing, and we're like, I am not doing the fucking thing. You think you're being gaslit, and I'm fucking actually just gaslighting myself. Ain't it fun being in relationships with us? Yeah. All right. So I hope you got something out of this. I will link Dr. Grande's video in the comments. Okay. Have a great day. Namaste.